Hello everyone, my name is Slade, I'll be your host, and welcome to Star Wars Did You Know? Located in the Maw Cluster of black holes near Kessel, the Maw Installation was a secret weapons research and development base, funded by Grand Moff Tarkin. While no exact date for the Maw Installation's construction is given, it is known that it happened sometime between the end of the Clone Wars and the Battle of Yavin, most likely in the early years of the Empire's rise to power, as Grand Moff Tarkin achieved his own height of power. While the facilities of the station were still under construction, Tarkin hand-picked and trained scientists to create terror weapons for the Empire. Counted among these scientists were those such as Qui Jux, Bevo Lemelisk, and Ren Voles, among many others, who would go on to create some of the most advanced weapons the Empire had ever seen. Following the Maw Installation's construction, Tarkin had all the architects and engineers who had built it killed in an accident, and placed his lover, Admiral Natassi Dalla, in charge, with 4 Star Destroyers at her command, the Gorgon, Hydra, Basilisk, and Manticore. Dalla was charged with defending the Maw Installation at all costs. The Maw Installation was a black site for the Empire, with only a handful of individuals, such as Admiral Dalla and Grand Moff Tarkin, knowing both its location and existence. Even the Emperor himself did not know the location of the Maw Installation, though he was aware that it existed. Tarkin had done this to ensure that the installation and those on it could not be leveraged against him or any of his political allies in the complex political system of the Empire. In the years of its operation, the scientists and engineers at the Maw Installation would develop several advanced weapon systems. Most famously would be the Death Star, of which a prototype was built within the Maw. But in addition to this, the World Devastators, Sun Crusher, Metal Crystal Phase Shifter, Orbital Nightcloak, and Ion Ring would all be developed, and in some cases built, within the Maw Installation. Despite its role in developing the Empire's most terrifying weapons, the Maw Installation would remain a secret throughout the Galactic Civil War, and wouldn't be discovered until 11 ABY, when it was accidentally discovered by Han Solo and Kip Duran during their escape from Kessel. In the events that followed, the facility was eventually destroyed in a self-destruct, but not before Admiral Dalla could download the main computer data and escape. Years later, during the Yuuzhan Vong War, Lando Calrissian would use the remains of the station to create a secret shelter for the Jedi and their allies against the predations of the intergalactic invaders. The station would be used again following the Yuuzhan Vong War as a quarantine station for Jedi and Force users who would become dangerous to the outside world. In the current canon, the Maw Installation is not mentioned, and it is highly unlikely that it will be, given what has been established in the new canon as the Death Star's backstory and Tarkin's involvement in it all. However, its ultimate fate, or rather the fate of the facility used by the Jedi following the Yuuzhan Vong War, remains unknown, as any storyline that might have involved it has now been discontinued, and is unlikely to make a return unless Disney chooses to bring it back. Ultimately, while it has no role to play in the new canon, within the old canon, the Maw Installation was perhaps one of the most terrifying of the Empire's facilities, as it birthed, arguably, their most horrifying weapons that they deployed against the galaxy at large. Alright everyone, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, feel free to like and subscribe. There'll be more content coming. If you'd like to support the channel on Patreon, please do so. Every little bit helps. Until next time, this is your host Slade, and this has been Star Wars Did You Know?